One of the cool things about the Daiwa Australian Open is the fact that it happens across 2 arenas. If you're really on the fish one day, that doesn't mean at all that you're going to be on them the second. So the first day, I caught a lot of fish on boats and shallow banks, but day 2, it was all about the bridges. I caught over 4 kilos that day and nearly every fish came off a bridge. Let me run you through how I do it.
Get out of that ledge.
The best time of year, I think, to fish a bridge is when the prawns are running. And if you've ever seen a bream eat a prawn off the surface, they're fairly retarded. They take several goes to get it, and the prawn skips all over the open water. Well, you put a prawn against a bridge pylon, and it takes a whole dimension out of the way the bream has to chase them. These fish love hemming bait fish and prawns against the pylons, so it's a great place to make a presentation.
He's a 30, low 30s, he looks like.
And it doesn't matter how deep the pylons are. These ones on the Hawkesbury rail bridge are over 50 feet deep in places, but the bream, they come up and they're suspending at that zone where the prawns are coming through and where there's growth on the pylons. And on these ones, they also have a little ledge just under the surface, which helps make the structure more complex and gives the bream somewhere to sit out of the current. And like always, I like to start with a reasonably light line. This is 3 pounds straight through fluorocarbon that I'm using on an atomic deep diving 38 GGB coloured crankbait. It's a proven combination, and that light line helps keep these hooks in the fish's mouth, even if it's a long fight.
We'll still take 5 of these boys today. The account is open for the big boys. Yeah, he's actually heaps bigger than I thought he was.
Oh yeah, oh wow.
He's just a heavy fish.
Is that the newton you're talking about? Or?
I want him to be 5 centimetres bigger, but I'm going to take him for fish number 2. The condition on this fish is double the condition of the fish yesterday. He's silver. Let him go, mate. He wasn't coming off. Oh, look at him. Just big and cranky. Hold it tight. I'm in the Australian Open. 34 and a half.
And that was the fish that helped me clue into the pattern and refine it to get that big bag. When I set up to fish a bridge, I like to do it from downstream, casting up into the current. Now, whether that's a run-in or run-out tide, you position yourself at either end of the pylon. Couple of advantages of doing this. Firstly, you can put your boat in the eddy behind the pylon, and you don't have to sit there with your trolling motor on 100% just to keep pace. Trolling motors over about 40% make a fair bit of noise, and I like to keep it down. Now on this day, I'd fish both the right and the left hand side of the pylon. That right hand side, as you're looking into the current, was having the current hit it, and the fish weren't really sitting there. But as soon as I cast up on the swirling eddy sort of downstream side of it, the side that had all of the eddies and boils, that's when I was getting my bites, and the fish on that side were definitely much bigger. The best cast to make is right up along the pylon, and if you can hit that pylon as you're retrieving, that's so much better. The fish are really, really focused, looking at and with the wall. A couple of feet away, you're probably not going to get bitten. Now this ledge, or this pylon, has a ledge that runs out a couple of feet under the water, and that's where the big girls were hanging.
That's got potential. It's not as big as the last one, but oh, it's big. Oh, it is as big as the last one. He's got that crankbait stuck in his mouth. Come here, mate. Come here. No, it's not as big, but he's still all right. This is on a 750. It's an epic start. Epic. That. On the crank. Here's another 34.
And the cool thing is with bridges, once you work out that pattern, you can target that area the fish are holding and catch fish after fish after fish. I really got to put these new Daiwa TD0 rods through their paces. I hadn't fished them before this weekend, but their action, nice and soft, it lets the fish load up before it sets the hooks, and once they're on, gives me the cushioning I need to get the job done.
Come on, be another big boy. It feels little the way he's running. He's not sort of shaking his head too much. He's running around too much. But I love being wrong about things like that. He's a keeper. Little fella hooked in the belly, that's why he's swimming around funny. That's number 4. When I say little, he's probably 28 centimetres. I've switched to the SX40 just to get a bit of behaviour off that lure.
And as you just heard there, I made a switch to the EcoGear SX40. In this really turbulent water, I reckon the SX40s swim a little bit straighter and a little bit truer than the Atomics, especially in that bit of current. And they swim, I reckon, a little bit deeper than the Atomic. I like the clear colours, the clear greens, the clear blacks, the clear blues. They all represent a prawn and are a great option for this sort of structure. And with a decent limit now in the box, it was just time to upgrade. And on every pylon, these fish were sitting in the same spot.
It could be a bigger one. He's got a head shake on him. Come here, mate. This feels better. Although he's doing circles in the water. I'll have that second hook going down. This has potential. He's well away from structure now. Don't have to muscle him. We'll upgrade that other 27 in there. It looks like about 30, low 30s maybe. No, he might only be 27. He's all right though. He'll upgrade something. He's a 30 with a ton of guts.
And here's something even better. As soon as I wore out the first bridge, the next highway bridge on the Hawkesbury was within sight, and the tide was just slowing down around the top of the tide, and it only took a couple of casts to answer the question, are the fish on this bridge too?
I don't usually like whining against the current. But now I like it. Oh, look at him, he's all right. He's got mates with him too. There's 3 of them came up then. One of them had it in his mouth and his mates were following him. I don't even know if it's an upgrade, but let's get a net.
One thing that did change between these two bridges though were the propensity of the fish to go diving under the structure. These had a series of pylons underneath these and the fish just love swimming through them.
Oh, that feels better. Don't go underneath though. You can't help that.
So after re-rigging, I thought I'd give the 3 pound just one more chance.
Bites. Come on, mate, get out. Get out, get out, get out. All right, I'm getting heavier gear.
So I rigged up with 8 pounds straight through on the heaviest TD0 rod that I could find.
He's rubbed me off. Get out of there. Haha, You try and get back now, mate. Yeah. It's alright, I don't know if it's number 8, but he's a fatty.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon there's a 29 in there.
Yeah, there is a 29.
A heavy line, good idea. Only about 2 days too late. Jeez, he's big in the back, that one, isn't he?
And when bream are biting in structure like this, they're often not line shy. I was right, should have gone to the 8 pound a lot sooner. So I hope that gives you some ideas on how you can target your local yellowfin on your bridges. Make sure you subscribe to Steve Morgan on YouTube and like this Facebook page for updates to my next in the series, which will be crankbaiting boats in Sydney Harbour.